Show business kids only living for themselves because they don't give a fuck about anything else. Welcome to Nerds Gone Rogue B-Sides. My name is Matthew Keel. Alongside me is Moose Cool. How are you, sir?
I'm good. What's up, party people?
And bringing back an old favorite, Todd Oxtra, the man that Corey and I started this ship with. How are you, sir?
Hello.
Wow, that was loud. I mean, make an entrance. Make an entrance.
Oh, well, yes, it's good to be back, guys. I love talking games, and I am high on Comic-Con, so you got me at a good time to talk.
Well, then, you're going to kick us off. What you geeking out about? We're going to do a nerdy sort of thing.
Well, I tell you, being a DC fan these days for like the cinematic universe, even though I know it's a ball of crap right now.
I mean, it's tough. It's hard out there for a DC fan.
It is. It was kind of like being a fan of Nintendo during the Wii U years. I mean, maybe to put it on a video gaming.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, not much.
I got a bunch of side eye from that motherfucker right there.
I mean, there were a few gems, but you know, largely it was forgotten. Nobody cared. Mm-hmm. But I tell you, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see Shazam's trailer.
I did not. I was actually, well, okay, full disclosure, I was in one of those Uncanny stores this weekend. Have you seen those? Like they're like comic books slash board games slash. You know, we have a bunch of old punk bands on one side.
Okay.
Like modern band teachers. So like there's some 41 shirts, and then on the other side there's like weird video game representation. I saw a bunch of Shazam shirts. I always liked that logo too.
It's a very sweet logo. Yeah, it's a and you know, a very quick hit on Shazam. It's basically the superhero version of Big. Kid gets these superpowers and turns into an adult, and that's where the hijinks ensue because, you know, does he act like an adult, or how do people, you know, when a woman gets sexy to him and he's a 12-year-old boy? I mean, I imagine my son this way. Oh my God. Just hilarity ensues, buys beer maybe at a too young of an age. Awesome. But it's all basically the powers of a god. Shazam stands for Solomon, Hercules, pick all the other Greek gods. There, you know, each letter stands for something. He has all those powers. So, and he is a magical,
sneezy, dope.
Yeah, sure. No. Yeah. Zeus, you know, Marky Mark. I think that's one of them.
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah.
definitely.
So I've been excited for this one because I feel like this was the movie that was going to put DC, you know, in probably a new light to a lot of people. And this definitely is. It's comedic, it's fun, it's light-hearted, because that's what this character is. It's not trying to be something it isn't. So I know a lot of people say, man, this looks goofy. I'm like, it's supposed to be. It's fun. It's a kid, and I'm glad there's something like this. We haven't had this before. I guess Spider-Man is the closest thing to it, but people still kind of feel like he's a kid. This is, you know, a kid acting as an adult. I like it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be goofy. So I'm really excited about that. You know, a lot of good comic book news came out of this thing. You guys probably already talked about the biggest video game news was the Spider-Man PS4 Pro thing.
We didn't really talk about it on last show. Like we've talked about it like amongst ourselves, but I think among the three-headed Cerberus that is this show, I think all of us are pretty high on Spider-Man.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem with that PS4 Pro, as most people have said, if you've got it horizontal, it's not going to be very impressive.
Well, of course not, because you don't see the spider.
Exactly. So it would have been kind of cool if they did something on the edging, maybe made like a web pattern or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, you know, some TV news came out and things like that. But the biggest thing that probably has me excited is the Buffy the Vampire Slayer mythos is going to be basically brought back. Joss Whedon's involved, and it's going to take a perspective of a new era of Slayer, which, if you watch the series, that's how it ended. There were other Slayers involved, and this is going to be from an African-American main character. So I'm like, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you and I disagree on Joss Whedon. I'm pretty sure you like him and I don't. I mean, I know I don't, but I don't know. And I never dug Buffy. I think that I think that there were some ideas there, but I didn't. It didn't hook me. And but you know, I think it's cool that he's willing to sort of relinquish it and reboot it in a way, I guess.
Yeah, he's probably going to
reboot it.
Yeah, he's going to be like basically EP because he was the creator of that series, and Fox is not going to do this without him, which is good. But yeah, I totally get it because for some it's personal taste. I totally get that. So it's one of those things. But I would say at the time, the show really was a renaissance for TV in a certain way of telling, certain storytelling. He brought in the musical episode, which is I know a lot of people don't like, some people do, but for me, it means a lot to me. When I was deployed in Saudi Arabia, that show kind of kept me sane because I was away from my wife. We were deployed for 6 months, and I got some bootleg DVDs, and I loved it. And I actually played one of my favorite video games of all time. This is so dumb. Was Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the original Xbox. My friend had one, and I just bought the game. It was by The Collective. It was a good game. Yes. Okay. It had no reason to be a good game for a licensed title, but they kind of nailed it all. So I just that series means a lot to me versus other things. So there you go. That was my thing.
You said he created the series. I'm actually asking this question. Did it have anything to do? It had nothing to do with the movie, right?
He actually created the movie.
He did.
He created the movie.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And then they said, "Hey, we've got this weird." He basically repitched it and said, "I can make this a TV series, ongoing, and things like that." They said, "Okay," and there you go. It was on the WB WB.
I mean, because I was one of the people who unironically loved the movie. I did not. It wasn't one of those things that I would say this is good cinema, but
it's entertaining.
That movie has a heart to it.
Yeah, Paul Rubens as a vampire. What could be better?
Right. Well, I mean, and Luke Perry before. Well, I guess he was always a little older and weirder, but but it's a good movie. It's not bad. That opening scene where you see that dude standing on air, it's actually pretty cool. There's some stuff in there that's all right.
Yeah,
and I think I liked that. Yeah. Not the show.
Yeah, and they totally incorporated that movie into it. They basically talked about how, hey, you got in trouble because you burned down the gym. That's exactly how the last movie ended. The movie ended. They appreciated that, but it's totally different thing. But hey, why not? Back in 1994, when that movie came out,
wasn't it Christy Swanson?
It was Christy Swanson. Rutger Hauer was in it.
Oh yeah, Rutger Hauer. Wow.
Yeah, he's awesome. Loved him.
Christy Swanson.
It's weird.
Hey, give Bruce a second. He's going to look something up on the internet. We'll be back.
He's like, I'm going back to looking at switch stands. I promise. Moose, how about yourself? Well, actually, before. Sorry, Moose. I'm going to cock block you real quick. Todd, people are making a big deal about this Johnny Depp thing? Is that in your wheelhouse at all?
Which Johnny Depp thing are we talking about?
That he made that appearance he made at Comic-Con, where I guess he was the character he's going to be playing in the upcoming.
Oh, really? I'm not even. that's off my radar. So I
saw it. I went to work this morning. I saw it on
so he's playing Grindelwald, right? That's the evil wizard he's playing. God, talk about a guy who's gotten a second chance after all those accusations and all the bad shit that came out about him. How the heck does he get past that stuff? I mean, that's crazy.
Well, yeah. I
mean, it's kind of a can of worms, right? Because we're kind of in that moment, right?
Yeah, it is. But at some point, there's going to be one of those. And I'm drawing a very weird comparison. But you remember, either of you ever watched Chappelle Show?
Yes. Yeah.
When they were talking about the R. Kelly thing.
Oh,
I'm gonna piss on you.
And, well, no, not that, but where he's doing jury duty, and then they're talking. They're like, well, what if we brought Michael Jackson on this? And he's just he made Thriller, man.
Exactly.
And I feel like one of those. I think this is the nerd version of that, because they're oh, that's Edward Scissorhands. We can't really.
Yeah.
That's Crybaby. We can't.
Okay. By the way, did you hear about
you leave Sweetie Todd alone?
Of course he sang, and he's but did you hear about the track that R. Kelly just dropped?
Oh yeah, 19 minutes. It's well. I was the funny thing is, I was looking at that and I'm like, here we go. It's another Trapped in the Closet because it's like 19 minutes long. And then I saw the title and it's called I Admit It, and I'm like, I want to know what he's admitting, but at the same time, I feel more comfortable and I feel like it's funnier if I just wildly speculate in my head.
The speculation was better than actual track.
Of course. I mean, of course it is, because like, it's funny. A coworker of mine and I got into a discussion about that, and she's about 10 years younger than I am. But she was like, when that came out, like everybody was all about it. I'm like, yes. And I thought it was a really good idea and a really good story. The problem is it's the same chords the entire time. It's the same thing on a loop. Like, you want to talk about things with stories, look at The Who, look at, fuck the Beatles. Like, look at anything that's ever done like a rock opera or a concept album, and everything changes. There's ups, there's downs, there's highs, there's lows, there's drama. That was just him and a track. Yeah. And he just kept going. Like, if that really waves your flag, I got a podcast you should listen to, and I'm on it, and all we do is just go.
Man,
we got ups and downs.
Yeah, you guys do. There's Bloodborne, there's something else. Bloodborne and something else. But have you heard the Weird Al parody of In the Closet?
Of course.
In the drive-thru?
Yeah, way better.
That is genius. That is genius. Yeah. Who else would do that?
Dude, Weird Al is... He's freaking amazing. He's awesome.
Like it's funny how, of all the things, like Weird Al's music like has this weird cult following that's big. I'm not gonna say it's not, but like it's definitely those are just Weird Al fans, and that's totally fine. But like, I did not grow up in the '80s expecting Weird Al to become like a comedy like icon.
No,
like I expected that to be like one of those things. Yeah, remember that guy who did Eat It? Remember the guy who did Fat?
Or even Grammy winning. Like was it? It wasn't.
Well, he won 2 Grammys.
Was it White and Nerdy, or was it all? I think it was White and Nerdy that like.
I think he was
like shitty, like rappers or whatever.
I think he. Well, no, he could rap. He rapped before that.
Well, he did. He did All About the Pentiums, which was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, he started his own beef with Coolio. It was great.
I was listening to Queen today because I'm building up some playlists on my Google Play, and I was listening to Queen's Another One Bites the Dust, and I'm just sitting there going like,
Another one rides the bus.
He recorded that in a bathroom. He recorded that in a bathroom.
I know, which is amazing. He's awesome. I love all the stuff that he does.
Anybody that can make the accordion cool. Like,
yeah. And what is awesome is like people like they understand that when he does a parody of their song, that it's just a parody of their song. Like he might pick on him a little bit, but like it's in good humor. It's not like he's like like really digging into him or taking shots at him. He's just having fun with whatever it is. Like what his album was, it smells like Nirvana. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And he had like instead of it was
Marbles in My Mouth. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, white stuff instead of the right stuff for New Kids on the Block. Taco Grande instead of Rico Suave.
That's the thing. He kind of immortalizes pop culture, and it kind of puts it in certain references. So it kind of like my son couldn't care less about Rico Suave, but he heard the song and thought the Taco Grande, we thought it was hilarious. So it's like it kind of connects generations in a very fun way.
Yeah. No, I totally, it's awesome. He does a great job of doing that.
As someone who was a moderate Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, I still think his Bedrock anthem is better than Give It Away. I still do. I remember his behind the music and like how he was saying that there were like a couple of people that took offense by his covers, and like Coolio was one and the Red Hot Chili Peppers were another, and the person they put out in front to really bring the criticism is fucking Flea. Like Flea is a great bassist, but like I'm not going to sit here and listen to and it's really difficult for me to listen to a guy who is known for performing with a tube sock around his Johnson and saying, I have a problem because all I did was yabba dabba yabba dabba yabba do now. I'm sorry. Do you know how repetitive your song is? Like, give it away now. I feel like he just basically took your writing style and just changed the words, which is fine because that's what you have to do to parodize something.
Mm-hmm. Holy cow. Flea has a ridiculous IMDb database he's been in a million things.
Oh yeah, he's been in a ton of things.
So he's kind of a pop culture
icon
as well. So
yes, but I'm not going. I'm not going to again.
A national treasure.
I don't know about that, but he's probably one of the greatest rock bassists ever. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
he belongs in the conversation with
a Les Claypool,
John Entwistle for sure.
Yeah.
I think John Paul Jones is probably technically better.
Yeah.
But whether or not they could. I mean,
we need a face off.
I just thought of a great parody action movie between
you guys, we should just have a base off right now.
No, I'm not doing it. Nope. I eat. I don't cook. So Moose, we'll get back to you now. What are you geeking out about, sir? Todd, you can't sue me for copyright infringement using your question.
Oh no, not at all.
So you finally tried.
All right, so here's the thing. I bought Super Meat Boy on the 360 day one. I didn't need. I knew about the game before it came out. I was in the indies and nabbed it and loved Super Meat Boy. So I heard the end is nigh. Well, I mean, I heard about Binding of Isaac, and then when I bought my PS4, I believe I bought it in December of 2014, and I think that month Binding of Isaac was free. So I am going to buy all of the DLC on the PS4, and I'll probably pick up the physical version for my Switch because I'm a double dip for those guys. I like their stuff a lot. Yeah. Love their stuff. Anyway, so heard the end is nigh was coming out. Wasn't surprised it was coming to Switch because, as people know, Switch didn't have a lot of games at the time. So a lot of indie developers were like, I'll push it on Switch first. It'll sell more on Switch because, the install base is pretty big. And so, God, like Friday, I think it was. So in May, when we moved in my offices, someone stole my Switch stand, which I will say 50% of the times is my phone stand to watch videos because I have free streaming on my phone. I have unlimited data, so I can stream whatever I want. But anyways, so someone took it and took my phone charger, and I don't know where any of that stuff is, and I don't know who took it, so I'm like, whatever. So I wanted to replace it, and I was looking at stuff online, and I saw there was a physical copy of The End Is Nigh, and I was like, you know what? I was like, my whole stance on the Switch is anything kind of AAA, I'm going to try and buy physical. Like smaller stuff. Like I bought Earth Atlantis digital. I've bought.
I don't think they have a physical of that either.
They probably don't. They probably Limited Run will do one in like 2 years, and that's awesome. Love Limited Run, but I'm not going to wait 2 years to play that. Like Hollow Knight. I wanted Hollow Knight like day one it came out, and it dropped at E3 the day of like when Nintendo did their conference. It dropped. Bought Hollow Knight. So I like bought The End Is Nigh, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. I bought a Breath of the Wild messenger bag carrying case for my Switch, so it fits the dock in there, the charging cables. It'll fit like a whole shit ton of stuff. So I could put my 8-bit Do controller in there, my Joy-Con or the Pro controller in there, and it also has a smaller carrying case for the Switch, which is awesome. And then I bought the stand. But when The End Is Nigh came, I was not expecting like all that I got with it. Like I expected, just here's the cart, here's the inside of the case. But like it came with like a booklet, that's got like, hey, this is how you play the game. Like towards the end of it, it's got like, it tells you who it's by, Ed McMillan. It's got like his story. You can see some of his designs on what he was thinking the main character and the level should look like. And then you get a little squishy, rubbery, you can see that, their version of the main character, Ash. And I was like, this is awesome. I was like, I totally didn't expect this. Like, I bought Octopath Traveler physical from Amazon because I got like a nice pre-order deal. We talked about that before. And it was just the game on the cart and the case. And that was it. No instruction manual, nothing. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. And so it was awesome to get like a game where it actually like had like substantial, physical stuff in it. Like I said, like the instruction manual and the cart, and it had stickers on the packaging. I like the stickers on the packaging so much. Like this one, it says made by Binding Isaac, and then there's like one that also says Ash kicking good times. So like I peeled those both off the plastic wrapper and put them on the actual case because I was like, I love those stickers are awesome. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And I was like, that is awesome to order that and get like a really kick-ass physical edition. And as far as I know, it's about the same price as the digital version on the Switch. But like I said, I'm trying to go physical carts with my Switch because I'm not going to buy a lot on there. I'm just going to buy like Nintendo specific stuff or, stuff that's just on the Switch. So I'm geeking out about that. I can't wait to play it later. I hope we could end the show right now and I'd be happy because I can go play it. But anyways, loving that. Didn't get to open up the messenger bag because like literally we worked late tonight. I got home, was trying to help the wife clean up the kitchen. She was making dinner. I was putting stuff in the dishwasher, and then you sent the message. I was like, yeah, it's time to go. Like we're going at 8:00. So I got the package came today. And I was able to open it up and take pictures of stuff. I put it on Nerds Gone Rogue, and I haven't been able to dive into things. I'll probably post some pictures about the stand tomorrow once I get to open it and like use it at work. But it's pretty similar to the one that I had, where like you can set the Nintendo Switch in it, and it has an area where you can come up with the charger and plug the charger in while you're playing it. And the reason I wanted the stand was number one because I have the 8-bit Do controller, the Famicom version, with the 2 analog sticks and the shoulder buttons. And it worked great with Breath of the Wild, so I'm going to try it with End Is Nigh. I played some Octopath Traveler with it. Works great with that. So I just want to have a stand to put that on to be able to use my controller at work. But then also I do use it as a stand for my phone when I'm watching like videos or like conferences. Like if I, like when E3 happens or PSX or something, when I'm at work and I can't, when I don't want to miss it. So anyways, that's what I'm geeking out about. It's awesome to see a company like put out something that's awesome like that instead of just like, here's a box with your cart in it. You know what I mean? So that's really
got
cool.
this on Switch because y'all wanted it.
Right. Yeah. So I'm probably gonna tweet at him and I'll probably start following. What is it, Nicholas?
Nicalis is the publisher, and then
Nicalis. Yeah. So, because they've got a bunch of other stuff, like a bunch of
they've got a lot of good stuff.
And I think are doing the physical version of Binding Isaac, which there are 2 versions. There's a $39.99 version, and then there's like a $79 or $72.99, and the $72.99 comes with like stickers and
which I didn't know about,
like all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I might try and pick up that version eventually. So, anyways, so that's what I'm geeking out about lately. Cool. Enjoying that. So I can't wait to play it and have fun with it.
Well, a spoiler alert: the 8-bit Do works great with it.
Very nice.
Such a good controller.
It really is. It really is.
Love that thing. Which one did you guys all get? Which one did you get?
I'd have to look it up specifically, but I got the Famicom version of the Super Nintendo one So it's got
like the red, green, yellow.
Yeah, it's got the red, green, yellow, and blue buttons instead of the purple and light blue color or whatever
It's like
the
purple and
yeah,
gray
purple and gray. Yeah.
So
and somebody pointed out though on the difference between those controllers is there's a convex and a concave buttons on the North American version that wasn't in the European version. And the and the Japanese version, so they actually said it's the superior one from a form factor.
Yeah,
you can see it.
Yeah,
you can see it.
Well, see, I noticed that too, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then I didn't really go for, I wasn't really going to do the which one's better thing. But I went and looked. I'm like, was that real? And yeah, it was real. I'm like, at least they went down to the detail, which is nice.
That's cool.
So we both have the 8-bit Do SF30 Pro controller, which is, like we said, the Super Famicom version with the green, yellow, blue, and red. And then the other one we're talking about is the SN30 Pro.
And that's
controller.
What I have.
Yeah. So
I actually have both.
Oh, you have both?
I have three. Yes. I have three of them because I got a 2-pack of the Super Nintendo ones for real cheap.
Well, I'm probably going to buy the American, like the American version.
Did you guys buy the adapter for the classic?
I don't have a classic, so I did not.
Well, if you buy the adapter, it'll work on both the NES and the SNES Classic. It's it's like $16.
What I also like is I've just bought Heroes of Loot on my iPhone. So like, if y'all don't know, like y'all should, if you have an Android phone, check out Google Survey Rewards. So like, you just basically answer questions every so often, and you get free money. And anyway, so I had like $4, and Heroes of Loot just came out recently, and I played Heroes of Loot 2. I played the original on the Vita, which is a fun game, but they just released the sequel on Android, and so I'm gonna try using my 8-bit Do with my Pixel and play Heroes of Loot 2 sometime this week and see how it works with my Pixel. But that's the other thing; like it works with my Pixel. It'll work with my PC when I finally build my PC, a Super Nintendo Classic, if I ever get one. I think Raspberry Pi it'll work with.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, shout out to them.
They'll work with everything, I think.
I think it's like $41.99 right now. It's an amazing controller. I give them like mad props. And they have a lot of stuff coming out like later this holiday season, like like they have like replica Joy-Con controllers. Like they're not like to be used like Joy-Cons, but they look like Joy-Cons, and they're smaller and they're all color coded. They got like green, red, blue, like all different kinds of colors to be able to like buy and take with you so that you and your friends can, play multiplayer games on your Switch. I was like, that's freaking awesome. And they've got like all kinds of different cool stuff coming out holiday season this year. And so I think it's like, I follow them on Twitch, not Twitch. I follow them on Instagram. Sorry. But they're always posting pictures about new stuff that they got coming out. But the controller is sound. Motion controls worked on Breath of the Wild for me. Didn't have any issues with that. The only thing I have an issue with, Matt and I were talking about, and I believe GameSpot's review of it kind of echoes this. Like the vibration, the rumbles in it is a little loud and a little jarring when you're playing. Like I was playing Octopath Traveler with it, and you get a hit from the boss, and it'd be like, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, you're a little more excited about this than I am. And sadly, the Switch on Octopath Traveler, you can't turn the vibration down. You can just turn the HD vibration off. And so I just turned it off and didn't have an issue playing anymore with it. But that would be my only complaint about it. Otherwise, the D-pad is freaking spot on. Analog sticks work great. It's very responsive. Like no delay that I can tell. As far as, being a Bluetooth controller. So, yeah.
Yeah. I played Binding of Isaac with that at work once, and it was just, like a lot of folks swear by using the D-pad in that game. I use the sticks. I mean, like, I'll use the D-pad for like platformers and things like that, and it's a fantastic D-pad. But the sticks in that are actually like they're surprisingly tight. In terms of like, I didn't notice a whole lot of latency. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, I know what good latency is, but like. Yeah, I assume that you're going to feel bad latency, and I didn't feel any. So I assume that, you know, my pedantic mind will equate that to good. As for myself, I've been geeking out over the Binding of Isaac a lot this past week. Not so much just playing it. Like, I mean, you know, I've been posting about the Kickstarter on my personal Facebook. I've been retweeting everything I see about the Kickstarter. They're in the last like 4 days.
And you're talking about the card game, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of it.
Clarify like, for people.
Like all of it. Like having been, I've been playing it again, and I'll talk about this in the main show. But there's a lot to that game. But it requires you to do stuff to unlock it. Well, anyway, I was looking through just like articles about it on the internet, and I didn't know that like there was an augmented reality game.
I didn't know that either.
With it, like there was just this thing that Edmund planted in Afterbirth, not Afterbirth Plus. But he planted it, and then, and like the community sort of responded to Afterbirth like real quick, saying, "Hey, you know, these other things that we know are here, like, because as you go into Binding of Isaac, there's like an item list, or it tells you what you've unlocked and what you've not unlocked, and of all of the secrets, like there was like 20% of the items that just weren't unlocked, and then he had planted like things to be referencing other things in that, but he had forgot to, like, the glitch. It ended up being a glitch because he didn't actually type a line of code correctly. So, or at least I think that's how I read this, like, 12 hours ago now. So if I'm misremembering, it's fine. You can correct me all you want. I'm admitting my mistake. But he ended up, he ended up patching it, and he said, yes, it's fixed now. Or at least he coded that. And then when a certain thing was found, an achievement logo changed. And I think it's just the Steam achievement, because I don't think it was like associated with. I think the community around this game is more PC than Xbox or Sony. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to go. But anyway, that change, people dug into that because they thought it meant something. It ended up meaning something, and it eventually they were. I found out that they were digging in the desert in Santa Ana for something related to Binding of Isaac, and I was like, I didn't even know this happened, and then I realized, like, man, I must not be that much of a fan of this because I didn't pick up on any of that. Also, I'm not very good at the Binding of Isaac, so I wasn't unlocking near what this community was doing. So like. That's cool too, but I think it all just sort of speaks to how the Binding of Isaac is constructed, because when you start the game, there are 6 levels. If you beat those 6 levels, you start the game over because it's a roguelike. And then there are 8 levels, and then there are 10 levels, and then there's like more branching paths, and it just keeps getting, you just keep going further and further and further. And I feel like looking back on it, like him extending that into an ARG is appropriate, and the fact that people found it like that's fucking cool. So I've been geeking out about that. Also, I have to stop looking at board games on Kickstarter because it's
yes.
I mean, I can't back
That's
any
like
of
me
them.
looking at indies on PS4.
Mhm.
I mean, I gotta stop. I mean, although I got like one coming out next Tuesday,
Yep.
and then the following Tuesday, and then the Tuesday after that.
You and me both. But no, like there's this the game. I mean this board game that I'm just enamored with. I backed it, but not like fully. I just threw them like $1, just so like I could get the updates and whatever, and I might be able to slacker back it another time. It's called Cthulhu Death May Die. I talked about it last week, and like the stretch goals in this are bananas. Like they have Albert Einstein in the game, and just the investigations in it seem really cool. The mechanics around it seem really cool. They're very pandemic, yet very dungeon crawly too. There are miniatures, and it looks like my kind of complicated. And I would just point people to that. But if you're seeing this live, great, because by the time it goes up, it's going to be over. So look for slacker backer options from that. And then the Binding of Isaac card game ends in 5 days. I backed it, and they've unlocked a stretch goal that includes a poster done by the guy who did Garbage Pail Kids.
Ooh,
nice.
Of all the Binding of Isaac stuff. So that's
very nice.
That's really cool. And then there's another poster of all the bosses that's like 18 inches by 24 inches. So 2 feet by 1.5 feet, whichever way you want to go. And that looks really cool. And I'm just excited to that again. I'm actually going to get that game around my birthday this year, so I'm just super excited for it.
Pretty cool. My coworker, her significant other, just his Kickstarter for a card game got funded, and it's all about the afterlife and about the different deities you would follow, and it's kind of like a Cards Against Humanity, but it's tied into your theology and things like that. It should be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
What's it called?
I have to look it up, but I mean, I'm really, it's really exciting that he's making his way. He's a bartender by trade, but he definitely wants to open a barcade in Minneapolis, which I think is so awesome. And he thinks he wants to bring board games and things to people in a bar setting, which that's awesome.
Which yeah,
that
I mean, and I think that the Binding of Isaac card game is a lot. It has a lot in common with Magic, but it's not super obtuse. And it's not like there's not like it doesn't seem like there's a super barrier of entry, because I've watched like 3 or 4 games of it, and because they've streamed gameplay, and it looks really cool. Send me the link. Send me the link to your friend's game,
I'll look it up.
I want to look at it. Yeah,
did you guys know Fantasy Flight Games is in my neck of the woods?
No,
they make the Fallout game board game. They make a lot of big licensed games, which I had no clue. But yeah, they're like 20 miles from my house, which is pretty crazy.
I think they did this too. Yeah, Fantasy Flight did.
Yeah,
this game.
Yeah, they do that stuff.
This game's really cool.
Yeah,
cool. Very nice.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
I might actually be doing some traveling your way, like for partners work, Todd. So I'll keep you.
If you do, I would love to host you, or at least meet up with you.
Yeah, definitely.
I do have a very rare, like, odd question in regards to it's a game that's video and music based. Drop Mix. Did any of you guys get that game?
I played it at PAX Unplugged in Philly.
Okay.
Brian Pelfrey and I. We played this, or we didn't play it. Did we play it together? I don't remember.
Okay.
I know we had talked about it, but like that game is really cool. That's a cool idea. It is kind of a monstrosity audio wise.
Yeah.
I think this, like, if you're going co-op, it's not as fun as competitive, but I played enough to like sort of wrap my head around it competitively, and I just felt like the strategy is cool, but the music ends up not being.
Okay. Yeah, we bought a copy of it, and I got some of the extra mix cards to play with my son. He likes music. He likes a wide variety. My wife is big into techno and things like that. I'm more into alternative. I do like rap. I like opera. I like different, classical things like that. So we've got a good mix.
As long as it's not Steely Dan.
Oh God, no.
Jethro Tull.
Flute. Oh man, you like both of the things we hate. Thank you. Yes. No. Elevator music or flute rock, not so much. Jazz flute now.
I will say this: if you've ever heard of the hardcore band Fucked Up, one of their albums opens with a flute. It's kind of heavy.
Yeah, there you go.
It's real cool. Okay, so I feel like that's a B-side.
Yeah,
and you can catch Nerds Gone Rogue B-sides every Thursday at noon on YouTube. It also comes out every Thursday on your podcast service of choice. Until then, I am Matthew Keel, speaking for Moose Cool and Todd Oxtra. We'll see you next week on the B-side. We love you. B-side Nana, and out.
You're welcome.